I was working a second job, making a six-figure income, and really that was a year where I was like, what am I waiting for? It was definitely a hard year financially. I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. So in 1 month, I was able to make.
Today we're going to be talking to Alberto Zuniga, a 25-year-old realtor who quit his high-paying 9-to-5 job to go all in on real estate. And boy, is he banking. And when you see how he did it, you'll be blown away. This strategy you definitely can implement into your business and take it to the next level. And Alberto will uncover how one single pillar took him to 60 transactions and over $300,000 in commission income within 18 months, and you can do it too. And he also shares exactly how he leveraged that momentum to continue to grow even faster without spending a penny on lead generation. Alberto, let's break it down. So you've been in real estate for a few years. How was it when you started out?
When I first got into the business, I approached it just more like, I'm not sure exactly how long it's gonna take me to get from point A to point B. And I focused on really educating myself, understanding the business. I was working a second job, and so real estate was more part-time that year. And so I didn't focus on production. 2020 was my second year in the business. And really that was a year where I was like, what am I waiting for? It's either I hit the reset button now or I'm gonna keep holding it off. And you know, there was a little bit of fear. I was going from making a six-figure income, remodeling homes, working for a small company. 2020 was like, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I told myself, I wanna get into business for myself. I wanna start my own business. So ultimately I knew it was then and there. It was either I do it now or I can keep playing this weight game. 2020, I jumped in.
Alberto decided to dive in and put all his efforts on his dreams and long-term goals. Many times we're faced with that tough decision of juggling priorities and we don't know what to do. But we need to remember that all success is past our comfort zone, past our fears. And many times we need to put it all on the line in order to get to the amazing rewards we so cherish. Now, that doesn't always make it easy, and for Alberto, oh boy, it truly wasn't.
I didn't see income for 5 months. It was a big struggle starting off. It was definitely a hard year financially, and when you're going through financial struggles, it gets a little stressful. I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. It was a tough year. It was definitely a year where I knew I had to prove myself. And that year, I just remember thinking like, you know what? This year's the year I'm gonna find out whether or not I'm meant for this business. I held on, I went through the struggles, and ultimately that year was the year that my life changed.
We've all heard the story of the miner that was 2 feet from gold. Well, Alberto's experience reminds me a little bit of that. He went 5 months without a sale. He was depressed, he was down, he was questioning whether real estate was for him. But you know what? He held on. He didn't quit. He stuck in there until he got his breakthrough. And maybe that resonates with you, to get inspired, to keep going, to keep pushing forward, to believe in yourself, because your breakthrough is just around the corner.
I let 5 months go by. That following month, I put 6 houses under contract, a little bit over $1 million in volume. I want to say about 1.2 million in volume under contract. So in 1 month, I was able to make more money that I have ever made in 1 month. And it was just a sense of relief that month. I still remember that day. I was just, so much stress was just released. I caught a break. That month, I really do say, was the month where it all began. So 2020, I did finish the year off doing 2.3 million in volume and 16 units. You know, I was like, all right, 2020 was a year full of adversity, but now I really got to set the bar up higher and prove myself that I really am meant for this business. And that year, I was like, I'm gonna do 7 million in volume, 40 units. And I didn't know how I was gonna do it at first, but something clicked.
Something I've noticed of every high achiever I've worked with is that they have a big vision. They don't necessarily know how they're going to get there, but they know how many houses they want to sell, how much volume they want to sell, and how much money they want to make. And then they're willing to take massive action to make those dreams and those goals a reality. And having those big goals keeps them fired up, because these goals require a lot of energy, a lot of action, a lot of struggling. And unless they know the final outcome, it's hard to commit and do the work. So many times we need to be reminded of these goals often, and we need to have them on our phone, on our computer, on paper, put it in the bathroom, whatever you need to do, make sure you're always seeing your vision so you can stay fired up. But how did Alberto actually do it? How did he drum up so much business when he didn't even know where to start?
I started networking with a lot of agents, a lot of lenders, and I realized there was a lot of top producers who really only spoke English. I'm bilingual, I speak Spanish. And so in my market, there's a big niche for that. Our community is very underserved. And so that was when I really thought, you know what? I can take advantage of this moment. I can take advantage of this opportunity. So I started networking with top producers. I started looking into people who were doing 15, 20 million in volume. Found a couple of guys that I was able to grow a great relationship with, a great connection with. And they trusted me enough to say, hey, look, you know what? We got a lot of Spanish leads coming in and we don't have no one to take care of them. So I was like, well, I'm your guy. They started referring me leads and I was able to close on them. And so from there, I went from doing 2.3 million one year to 8.5 million the following year and doing over 54 units. And so it was definitely that, 2021 was just a year where I definitely just blew up. And that was only my second year full-time as a real estate agent. Another piece that has helped me is just keep connecting, always be open to learning. You really got to be a good listener in this business. I really do believe it. I'm always learning, always trying to figure out how can I get to the next level? What do I need to do? Part of it is doing the work, but the other part is learning from people who have figured it out.
You said some really cool things there. So you decided to connect with other top producing agents who perhaps didn't have anybody around their circle to service some of their clients. And you made those relationships, you built those relationships. How did you approach them initially?
I hit their DMs, just started reaching out on Facebook. That's really where it started. Started messaging them, hey, I see what you're doing. I'm liking it. You keep killing it. I started showing love. Yeah. And eventually I was like, hey, let's go out, get coffee. Let's go out, grab a bite. Definitely would appreciate if you could take some of your time and just show me a thing or two. They were open to it.
Okay, so you get the leads coming in. They're sending you the referrals. Are these like qualified, ready to buy clients that you just got to go and show houses to? Is that how it works?
No, it was definitely leads that I had to source out. Like I said, a lot of these people were Spanish-speaking leads. These realtors didn't know exactly whether or not they were going to be able to close them. Yeah. They were just like, hey, Alberto, here's this person. Here, let me know if it works out. And I was like, all right, yeah. Call them, hey, what's going on? Trying to figure out their situation. Put them in my pipeline, whether they were ready or not. And followed up, did the work.
So now you're getting referrals from those clients and building another pillar for your business. And that's how your sales are continuing to grow.
Yeah, after I closed all of that, I was able to have a lot more content on social media, all the closings, all the videos, all the things I started posting. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were like, dang, who's this guy? Just came out of nowhere, started blowing it up. And yeah, I started having a lot of people reach out to me through Facebook. A lot of people, just send me a message, hey, Alberto, would like to know more about the process. How can I get started? So that helped me a lot too.
Success begets success. What I love so much about Alberto's story is that it only took one simple strategy for him to change his life and his business forever. And I see that time and time again in the real estate industry. Here's another example of an agent that leveraged one simple strategy to drum up hundreds of listings from one single source. So watch that video next.